right, hopefully you can hear me. This is Kelvin Explores coming to you live on location, approximately a little bit away from Cuba, Havana, Cuba, but on our way to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, which is our home port for Celebrity Ascent. This is the ship where I'm on right now, and I'm currently in my infinite veranda room, and I can see Cuba. I'll show you that at the end. I was reading some news, and there's some cruise news. There's some bad weather in Florida right now. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to dock tomorrow, but basically the rain has kind of been chasing us this whole trip, just light rain. But it's picking up here. It's pretty choppy. The waves are pretty big and rolling. But there's some breaking news. The Meraviglia, MSC Meraviglia, originally had a itinerary in the Bahamas from New York, a 4-day trip. They canceled that last minute. It looks like yesterday, or they changed it. It makes sense because of weather, to be safe. So basically MSC Meraviglia just altered the itinerary because there's going to be bad weather in South Florida and the Bahama region for the next couple of days, which is pretty much their whole sailing from December 16th, which is today, until December 21st, I believe, or the 20th. It's going to be a 4-night cruise, I believe, with winds up to 40 knots, or gusts up to 40 knots expected throughout the entire duration is what they're claiming, and that's about 46 miles per hour. So even though the ship can handle that, it's not fun upstairs on the loungers. The umbrellas can't open up, the cushions can't stay on, you know, all that stuff. And plus, it's going to be hard to port in some of the ports and on the docks. Originally, there were going to be ports of calls in Port Canaveral from New York to Port Canaveral, then to the Bahamas, and then to MSC's private island, Ocean Cay Reserve. That has been changed, and now they're going to Canada. So they're leaving from New York. They're going to go to Boston today, spend 2 nights in Boston, which I guess, you know, maybe that's not the best thing, but what else can they do, honestly? Then they're going to continue to Portland, Maine. And then the following day after that, they're going to be in St. John's, Canada. And then after that, return to New York. So that would be on December 21st. So that is a big change to a cruise itinerary unexpectedly because of weather. So people had traveled, I'm reading on the blogs, on the Facebook groups, that some people have traveled, a lot of people probably, to New York with mostly summer and Caribbean clothing, snorkel gear, you know, shorts, t-shirts, bathing suit. And now they're having to turn around. Luckily, it's not canceled though, so that's kind of a good thing. But MSC does have a strict cancellation policy if you don't buy a certain class of room also. And but they may change this because of the bad press this is gonna garner. A lot of people are having to buy jackets, and because it's wintertime and they're going north, they're not going south from New York. It's only colder where they're going. So that's a quite an unexpected turn. Like, we would be excited, we just discussed that, if that would happen, because we always wanted to do a Canadian cruise. Maybe not in that case though, where it's like last minute and you're not prepared for clothing wise. But what do you think? Is that the right thing to do? I would rather that instead of totally canceling, because I can stay in my room. Hopefully you have a balcony or a room somewhat like this and you can look out and see, and hopefully just you got a pair of pants and you can buy one jacket maybe and get away with it, but always probably pack something warm or cool, vice versa, if you're going in a different climate than where you're coming from. But what do you think? Would you be excited or would you be upset? A lot of people are upset, but honestly, what does a cruise, what does MSC have to do? It's not really up to them. And I would rather change than cancel, because I've already flown there or traveled a great distance, or totally just float out in the middle of nowhere and not stop anywhere. It sounds like the weather was going to be bad anyway in the Bahamas, so you wouldn't really be outside on deck anyway. So if it's too cold for you up north now, stay inside. There's plenty of stuff to do on the Meraviglia. We've been on there. It's a big ship, beautiful inside venues. The promenade is a huge area. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know below. And now I'm going to do a quick glimpse of where we are now. All right, so let me back up here. I don't have to talk as loud because I have my mics on. I forgot that, sorry. You can see the weather. There's where my little setup here for my breaking news story. You can see the little setup I have there, and you can see just in the distance, I'll lower this window in a second. It's not going to focus. Let me lower the window. All right, I have it on widescreen here, and you're on my gimbal, so I can kind of pan around, and hopefully I'm not blowing out the speakers, but this is a view. I'm going to have a full video tour of this room on my YouTube page in a few days, hopefully. But here's a kind of quick glimpse of the infinite veranda stateroom. This is in concierge class, so we get a little more perks, but not to talk about that. This chair is from over there. I slid it over here to sit down. But here are the controls, and you can control the shade and the lighting through the app, but this is the window control. You have to be physically here to open this. And the captain does reserve the right to not open it and keep it locked based on weather conditions. But here I'm lowering down the infinite veranda window, and I'll back up so you can see it's pretty much at that point a veranda or a balcony. And the air does shut off pretty instantaneously, and everything kind of gets foggy. Takes a second here, but you let the humidity in, and of course it's been ice cold how we keep it. So you can kind of tell it's starting to fog up there. Hopefully I don't trip on anything, but let's go out here and take a look. And it is pretty windy. It is blowing the phone on the gimbal, so I'm kind of scared, even though it's on with a pretty strong magnet. I don't want it to fall. So let me stand back in here and let's try to zoom in on Cuba. So there you can see we are on the north side, headed towards the Florida Straits, the Straits of Florida. And Havana should be coming up shortly, somewhere probably around this kind of cliffy spot here in that lower area, Havana, Cuba. But you can see it is getting kind of rough out here. These are pretty big rolling swells. So I can totally get, we were coming back from the Cayman Islands, and before that we were in Mexico, and then before that we were in the Bahamas. So we kind of luckily avoided all this bad weather. It was gusty for a lot of it, and it was rainy here and there. I can kind of see if that's like how it's going to be the whole time. Maybe that's Savannah. I don't know. We are close when I looked at the map earlier. But anyway, but that's all I have for you now, breaking news wise. And again, let me know what you think. Would you be happy with that itinerary change? I would be okay with that. I would be upset a little bit, but what can they do besides cancel the whole thing? And then I have to fly back and not have a vacation. I don't know. I would be cool with that. Literally cold though, so I would actually cold, so I would have to buy a jacket probably. But I'm gonna always pack a jacket from now on because of this story. A light jacket. I do have a hoodie. I always bring a hoodie, but that might not be enough. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been Kelman Explorers on location in north of Cuba on the way back to Fort Lauderdale on the beautiful Celebrity Ascent. And this has been a breaking news story brought to you by me. Bye. Let me raise this up. Keep the cool air in. Everybody stay happy, healthy, and well. Bye. Almost done here. So a little bit more. A little bit more. And we are good. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you can, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to see more. Bye.